If you think this Minecraft update should have more building blocks, then you're in luck because Ryan Cooper, the head of Minecraft, just tweeted in response to this thread about Autumn Forest being added and then someone saying there are 6 weeks of snapshots and betas left with no clue what's coming, with a response of it's only going to get better. This is good, but add in the fact that Minecraft are hiring a brand new pixel artist and indeed the fact that they just showed a community post which has a sniffer surrounded by a brand new sulfur and cinnabar texture, and things certainly do look good, and in today's video we'll cover all of that as well as custom dimensions and the create mod people moving over to Hightail, because Hightail, I'm IBX Toycat, and welcome back to another Q&A Saturday. This is the weekly series where I answer your questions about life, the universe, Minecraft, and everything in between, and let's get started with the first and most important one, because yes, I think that actually if you want to see new Minecraft blocks, right now is the best time in Minecraft history, because instead of just having to wait for features that Minecraft have already announced, or indeed just waiting for them to be finally bug fixed so they can actually come out, in this case it'll be in June, we've got a good 6 weeks here, as Mint Refresh nicely puts it, where actually there are going to be brand new changes made. Some of those are going to be tweaks to existing features. We might get a new sulfur block or cinnabar block here or there, but otherwise there's a lot of spare capacity, and so are they going to be adding the Autumn Forest? I mean, why else would Ryan Cooper be responding to this thread? Interestingly, he's very inactive on Twitter. The last tweet he made was about a week before that, just saying thanks for the feedback when someone asked for an end update, and so I'm not going to say that if he responded to this end update, then clearly we're getting one of those, and that if he responded to this Autumn Forest, then clearly we'll get that too, but it is interesting to know that idea is with the studio, and so given that everyone and their mothers at Mojang has been tweeting about how we clearly need a new block set and asking what colours we want, is a brand new Greenwood coming? Well, if I'm being real with you, probably not, but what is probably coming is a brand new employee. That's right, Mojang is looking for a new pixel artist to work in their Stockholm office. Oh, is this sign not good enough proof? Okay, here's the post from Japper asking for a pixel artist to work for Mojang, but intriguingly, it is just temporary for 18 months, which is very intriguing, but even more intriguing is the fact that they just put out their biggest pixel art update ever. You would assume that right now is when everyone is relaxing after having designed all of these new textures. Again, from a end gameplay perspective, the tiny takeover changed very little, but in terms of how many new textures had to be made, supposedly it's over 100 different unique ones, and you can see that looking around this update. And so now that they've just finished this, why would they be hiring even more? Are they working on another massive refactor of a giant part of the game? Well, potentially yes, but I would also say if we pay attention to this temporarily bit, you might be able to say that simply put, we know Mojang is based in Sweden, which has one of the most generous parental maternity leave policies in the world. It's 480 days combined between the both parents, and although on the sweden.se website they say it's split between both parents, you could have one of the parents take up to 450 days if they take it from the other parent, which I think is intriguing. But anyway, that means that actually there could just be an employee that is looking after a child for the next 8 to 16 months, which is fascinating, but that might be why they're looking for a temporary employee. It might not actually be that they have big new plans, it might be they just want to keep their current plans going, but I guess it's good that they are keeping up with their current rate of work, which apparently can include pretty big updates, again from the pixel art point of view. But speaking of big updates from a certain point of view, I got an interesting comment from Supernova Frick695 who says that in custom dimensions the world height is minus 512 to positive 512, and so I had to immediately come and find this out. Here is a custom dimension, the same one from the video from Thursday, and here's me going down to minus 509. Let's try and place a grass path block here, shall we? Or just a grass block. As you can see, wow, look at that, it actually did place, and if we do the same thing again, but all the way at 0, 5, 12, 0, which is very, very high up, yeah, we actually can place our block all the way up here in the sky too. This is crazy. By default, all Minecraft custom dimensions are 1024 blocks tall, which is way higher than anything else in Minecraft. I mean, look how high I am above the clouds here. But just in case you're confused and you look at this and you say, so wait, what's going on with this? A lot of people, actually surprisingly few, but I did have more than one comment saying, Paul, from like this one from Paulzilla 9111, who says, wait, so you have to code and import these new dimensions, right? I'm slightly confused here. And so, yeah, the answer answer is that if you want to make custom dimensions, they are still currently, again, and the plan is to add them via the scripting betas and via these previews, because right now it is not a guarantee that it's coming to the base game. Indeed, I saw an interesting comment like this one from Mr. Cromps saying that obviously if they're adding this via scripting, that's not how Mojang would make custom dimensions for the base game. They believe that obviously, oh wow, there's my single amethyst block at 242 blocks. But they made the really interesting point that, like, yeah, if Mojang wanted to add this, they wouldn't do so via scripting, making more or less the point that this is guaranteed just to be for add-ons. But I would still say that Mojang putting something in add-ons, even if you didn't believe there was any crossover between the code they're using for this and the base game, which I don't believe to be true, but even if you did believe it to be true, I think that Mojang does love to use updates to, you know, they love to use add-on stuff to promote updates, or indeed I should be more realistic and say it the other way around. Mojang loves to use updates to promote add-on stuff, and so if they added a brand new dimension to the game, wouldn't it be cool if then you could add your own via add-ons rather than having to rely on the hard-coded ones? That's why I believe that the odds of a brand new dimension have gone up from where they were before, maybe 1 to 5%, to now it's more like 10 to 20%. But be very clear here, I don't think the odds are greater than 50%. It's not a guarantee there's going to be a fourth dimension, at least not yet. Speaking of not yet, Toy Cat, weren't Mojang hinting about a dream dimension at some point? Well, this isn't the dream dimension. Wait, you know what? I won't make this joke. Anyway, but you know what is interesting? The dream dimension is something I have heard a few comments referencing, so I decided to go digging into this myself. Oh, looks like the void is not a good place for blazes. Maybe this is the dream dimension. Anyway, but I did see a few people mentioning this, and I really want it to be true, don't get me wrong, but it is worth mentioning that after looking into it, I don't think there's any real substantial source. The biggest one is the fact that the creator of the Aether mod, King B Dogs, works on Minecraft, but since then we've only really seen two things, and I'll share them with you anyway. One of these was that in a Minecraft monthly, Vu Bui was seen sleeping, you know, dreaming if you will, having bad dreams, and the other is that Minecraft posted a short where they were talking about sleeping through the night, and one of the guys was like, no, the night can't handle me. And if you want to know the third part of this story, well, the night could handle him, as it turns out, because the night is very scary. But I think that this is just a case of Minecraft social media teams posting silly stuff as opposed to any direct hint. And if you want a weird example of just how much they plan to post their silly stuff, let me share something fascinating with you. This is Minecraft's social media page for their YouTube. It's called the Community tab, and it's a way of using YouTube as a non-video platform. I still don't quite know what I think about it, but whatever. The point here is that this is when your sniffer has misbehaved, and the idea is you put him on a fence post with a lead, and you surround him with sulfuric water, meaning he'll get the nauseous effect if he goes anywhere. This is a way, obviously, to promote the Chaos Cubed update, but what's interesting about it is that they used a new sulfur and cinnabar texture. Here is the sulfur and cinnabar texture from the current Minecraft beta and snapshots. As you can see, the sulfur looks kind of like, I don't know, like boogery, and the cinnabar looks kind of like Overworld Netherrack or like a raw iron block. But if we look back at this image, you can see they look more like tree bark and more like a sponge. So what's the deal with this? Did Minecraft just reveal what their new textures are going to be? Well, instead it seems as though this is actually a case of Minecraft massively pre-planning, because I went back to the Minecraft live reveal and it looks like these textures match those ones basically exactly. I think, therefore, that the version of the textures that was used at Minecraft Live is the version that the Minecraft social media team used to make all of their posts, maybe for the next few weeks, and they haven't actually used the snapshots and betas because, I don't know, they're busy doing Easter or whatever. That is fascinating, at least to me. But you know what else is fascinating? The fact that the creators of Create Mod have been hired by the team over at Hytale to help with the game design and create new mechanics. This is really interesting to me because the Create Mod might be like one of the most downloaded things ever. It's got over 100 million downloads, it's ridiculous, and so having this come to Hytale seems like a huge win. And if you're curious about the source, I'm not just going to trust NotPixel86 blindly. Simon from Hypixel does respond saying, true, they're fully part of our core design team now, shaping the game at a foundational level. Getting that right is what eventually opens the door to automation and a whole lot more. The future of Hytale is looking really good, just gotta let us cook for a bit. And again, very interesting message to send right there, because Hytale is in a weird place right now. I saw this graph from Prow showing the YouTube trend of Hytale since launch, and as you can see, sharper than any game out there, Hytale had a huge rise. Honestly, the rise is what makes this graph look so bad, but it has been steadily peaking off since then, and since Prow is a fellow YouTuber from the Bedrock scene that decided to switch over to Hytale, I imagine he's someone who feels this on a much more personal level than most people, but also it's a good case of like, yeah, Hytale had this big moment to impress people, and just like I think a lot of mods, maybe like you could say create, just like a lot of experiences like that, the much harder thing than impressing people the one time is getting them engaged and playing back and coming all the time, and I do think that that is something that is really impressive about the Minecraft updates. Even though there's a whole swarm of people who look at any drop or any change being made, and they're like, their first thought is, how can we be negative about this? Even the gaming browser had to jump aboard it this week. But for as many people who immediately follow Minecraft updates just to be negative about them, the fact that there are so many of them, and the fact that there's just as many people who are actually excited about these things, is kind of an interesting sign in its own right? I mean, I got a really intriguing comment, not this one, about how this person was listening to the Let's Play and they found out there was a new audio track every day, but still was confused about the unrelated things popping up in the video. I enjoyed this comment, Odd Dragon, but it was from this one, which said, Toycat, have you ever thought about being a businessman? And it's like, yeah, one of the weird things about being a YouTuber is you kind of have to be a business person at the same time. And being a business person doesn't come naturally to everyone. I mean, this is how you wear a suit, right? I'm hopefully prepared for this very important business meeting, but there are all sorts of facets of business to YouTube that, even as someone who studied business, aren't always natural. Like, for example, should I be promoting my merch more like lots of YouTubers do? I don't know about that. I like talking about the Toycat Let's Play world, for example, or should we be talking about the Toycat creative world? One of the things I have to spend a lot of time doing outside of making videos is we're working on getting that world out there and making it fun and special and having unique reasons to actually want to download it or buy it. So there's these big questions like that. Or instead of promoting our own stuff at all, should I just get sponsors like most channels do? These are the questions that you can ask, but there's also questions about content that come from this angle. So for example, I love making the ultimate guides. They are a video that do much better with non-subscribers than with subscribers, but people who like them really, really like them, and I love guiding people through the game in that way. So one of the things about the Ultimate Guide is that the last couple have kind of underperformed. I think doing it specifically about one mob is what made sense to me, but isn't making sense with the overall viewed algorithm or whatever. So instead, we're going to put 18 times, I think it will be, maybe a little bit more, as much work into the next video in it, not because I I woke up one day and said, I want to do 18 times as much work for one video, but because I think that it might be more than 18 times, as lucrative in terms of subscribers or views or money or whatever. These are the weird decisions you have to make. And I hope that those decisions always make the content better, if not directly, as I hope you do notice, but indirectly, such as, the ability to continue doing this. I'm amazed that we've been doing these videos for, 12 to 14 years at this point for Minecraft. Yeah, 14 years since I made my first Minecraft Xbox 360 Let's Play, coming up in May, by the way. And still we are here playing this same beautiful game, doing weird things for it. But with that said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like it if you liked it, share it if you really liked it, and consider subscribing to see more of these, because I'll see you next time. Rate 5 stars. Goodbye. Man, the rate 5 stars thing's been gone for a long time, hasn't it? Man, at some point, it's going to be like, yeah, remember to dislike this video. Remember when those are a thing? Like this video, and then turn your phone upside down, and then like it again. Yeah, that's good. Bye.